What is up, gang? So we are going to break down all these trades on TradeZilla today. I almost got myself caught up. So the morning was actually very, very successful. We ended up jumping in a trade. The first trade that I put in, which I'll show you right here, I made $500 on. I went in with 3 contracts, which is really a no-no, quite frankly. I don't know where that confidence came from, that I can't have those lapses of judgment, but it worked. It did go in my favor. I was playing a nice, very clean supply and demand, intraday supply and demand zone. So I was like, okay, I feel good about this. And I was just in. So obviously when I was in, I was like, okay, let me manage this. If this pushes against me, obviously, yes, normally it's a 20, tick stop or 250 loss. Now the risk is literally tripled. So now it's 750 at the same area. And if it's 250, that just now rushes it way back down. So now you're talking about 3 ticks, 4 ticks. And that's going to be all the size I have. So I'm managing it. Luckily, it goes my way. And I say that because, again, it's good for me to, hear myself say, look, get in the ones that are. The only thing I did wrong about that trade, to be clear, was to get in too much size right away. I've always said going with one contract. You need to get your feet wet, put money where your mouth is, so to speak. You have a belief about a given trade, throw 100 on it, which obviously, I'm just saying that, like, you put a contract in. Okay, that actually looks like it's looking pretty good. Let's add some more so then you can make more. It's like, it seems like this oh yeah, well, no duh. Listen, if you know that coming into trading, it's the first day you're trading, you are already on your way. And I know that sounds like that's not much, but trust me when I tell you that is so important. But people don't really, at least, hey, maybe that's just me. And maybe I've struggled with that, which I know that I can't be the only one. So just go in with the, minimum amount of size and then scale in. If okay, I'm willing to throw 5 contracts on, which I am, I want to be proven correct by follow through volume, right? By real, sellers or buyers really taking it, diabolical movements. I don't want the teetering around what we would consider consideration, accumulation or distribution. I don't want to be in that area because that can whipsaw me. That's like the cardinal sin rule. We want to stay out of whipsaw areas. And sometimes you don't see that you're in one until you take a step back, but just exit. And then you have time to kind of look back at it for a split second logically and go, am I in the right trade? Okay, let me check my levels again. Wait, yeah, this is it. It's happening right in front of me. I can get back in. But don't bleed money, So let's walk through this stuff right here. All right, we're going to go to the very beginning of today. I have them all broken down already, so this will make it much, much smoother. Sorry, in the past, I've not necessarily done that all the time, so I want to make sure I'm doing that for you. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. First trade was $197.20 on a short. I'm going to turn this for you so you guys can just get a good view of what's taking place. Okay, take a peek. This was the trade right here. Notice, okay, I was on a short, 197. So that's why I shorted. I pretty much took it all the way at the bottom of that wick. And again, that was an intuition. I saw that it started to bounce. I knew that there was an intraday demand box right here. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to close below this because we really stopped volume. I don't know who is here, what passive orders were here, but somebody was ready to take this. And sure enough, we went to the upside. So that was a really, really nice one because where that green mark is that I drew across is where I exited. You're talking about, a couple ticks and then we went the opposite way. So the note was trade thought at 950. Although initial thought is to buy this up into the next supply, it's also a huge accumulation or consolidation area, and whipsawing is the last thing we want right now. Stay patient, wait on the breakout. Trade number 2, ES short, we got in. We had enough room on the next candle to take it to the following demand, except I didn't let it go to demand. I've got to do better on that. In hindsight, it did rip up against me. Sorry, that's in the way. In hindsight, it did start ripping towards the upside and running away from my entry. I said, I've got to get better on accepting the risk I've put on the 250, but excellent trade. Be patient, though. Here's the next one. This one I want to say was an add to that. Yep, add to contract to trade number 2. This was another add. Okay, I said to number 3. Let me see if this is the same thing. 56.50. No, it's a completely different trade. Okay, here we go. So let's look at this one. Nope. Okay, this $22 one, obviously, this was like, I didn't even mark it as anything because I was like, I don't even know. Look, it says plus, so I added this to a particular size, but I got in, got out. It was a short for literally, 2 ticks. So, I mean, insignificant. I don't want to really look in this one too much. It just really doesn't need to happen because if I get whipsawed on this, this will cost me. There's no reason to do that. This was a long, I remember this one clear as day. This was an afternoon play. I just was kind of giving myself a comment that it's saying it's okay to leave sooner. If you need to leave and goes in your favor, there's plenty, there's always a re-entry. It looks like you could get a split second of logic to slow things down and get back into it. If it goes against you, stop the bleeding. However, I see your thought process waiting for the candle to close to see if it would go back on the bounce. And this is what I'm talking about. So as it played here, as you guys see, there's a demand right here. We started to play up here. I actually went up money because when I entered, I got this burst to the upside, which was really nice. I was like, okay, cool. And so I was adding. I ended up adding 3 different positions to this. And I let this candle close because I wanted to see, okay, well, yeah, we broke below, which was telling us, okay, now buyers are now probably out. Sellers are starting to step into this market. This was my indication here. So I need to be weary. And then I let this close though, because I wanted to see it might just shoot back up and then take it to the upside. But I knew that I chased this one because I saw a gap fill potential opportunity. This is a afternoon trade around 3 o'clock or very close to 3 o'clock. 250, and I just ran after it. Luckily, because I took a nice smacking on this one. Again, I added to this now. That's 177. Get ready. That's one of them. Boom, 202, because I added to that exact same position right there. Added, and I put to the last trade because I didn't know if I was on trade 3 or 4 or whatever. But you get what I'm getting at. Added again. Look at this. And I was just drawing the box there, kind of the intraday demand that I was like, okay, what am I looking at? Like, what was I thinking there? And I just said, chase the trade with size, not a good entry besides seeing there was a volume to the upside and identified a gap fill opportunity. Without stops, we could have lost much, much more. Always play defense, stay humble, and never forget what it's like to bleed money. Quickly. Take a second, exit, you can always get back in. I also added to the position because it was giving me money at the beginning, got too confident, let one contractor or employee prove it to you with nice follow through and volume, then add. So just giving myself like the coaching that I need as well too, as we go. Now luckily, I saw this market start to turn over. We ended up making 209 on this short. Boom, right here. Notice that we didn't necessarily all the way let this candle close, and I remember it. That's why I put this little note right here, which is saw volume get into this. We broke before candle closed. As you can see, the candle's not all the way closed right here where I entered. So obviously we got into this one, but this is not closed. Notice that the move happens pretty much in this little gap, which I was trying to fill is this demand zone going to follow? If not, then we're going into the next zone, and this is what I was trying to take. Well, it didn't end up working out, meaning get in after this, because that's the move I ended up playing. But I just told myself, I said, there better be good follow through. So I just said, we can get better at waiting on follow through and not closing out of the zone for extra confirmation, but overall good trade. I said, and then I was saying right here in this little note, I said, got worried. This is my kind of justification for exit about first rejection off the demand. So I exited this, thought this was a clean trade between an intraday supply and demand level. Good work. So again, I'm proud of this trade. It's just I really need to make sure this is an explosive move. As this one opened, I saw this thing just start to knife down. I was like, okay, this is my shot to take a quick, couple points. And we ended up grabbing 4.5 points, or 17 ticks. So that was solid there. Ended up making some nice cheese. Did I add to this one? I believe I did. I sure did. Look at that. Added. Boom. So again, we always are trying to do our absolute best, and I'm going to obviously make it more mechanical where I can continue to take money out of this market in a more mechanical way, I should say. This is another added one. Boom. So we're like, okay, we're going to squeeze this. This is just after that loss, guys, where I took a huge beat down. So I was like ripping all this back, right? This is also an added one. Boom, for $97. Notice on the way down, I'm just add. I'm spamming it, but that's because I'm feeling volume. Now I put this in one of my notes here, which was also like, keep this in mind as the volume is going, as I'm adding trades. Now my risk is obviously much, much more, it's a wider number now. If I'm in 4 or 5 contracts, now you can literally 5X. Now you're talking about $1,000 risk at one particular trade. And so it better pay you out more than that. It might better pay you out 1 to 1, you know what I'm saying? Or at minimum, you know what I'm saying? But we're always looking for those 1 to 2s, 1 to 3. So it's like, if you're going to put that kind of, risk on the table, it better make sense, and then you need to be able to step away. So here's the next trade. This was literally an exit from this one. I said add a contract on trade 4. I said, but it was exiting the position. So I just think it pulled against me $2.80, guys. We're not going to sit here and, scratch our heads about this one. And then this was the last trade. I ended up getting a totally different position. I just said we started dropping like a falling knife. I saw a 1 hour point of control that was getting near. I said, this is a risk to take without a bounce. So I'm being critical on myself. I'm going, make sure that it's hitting a bounce of an intraday supply of some sort. This is more than fine to be in if you're letting runners go. Meaning if I'm in one singular contract and just letting it go and make as much money as it can while I'm already securing profits and not at risk at all. So I just go, but not in a random level where anything can happen because supply and demand isn't there. Now, yes, in theory, you have 250 stops. So now I'm kind of justifying. I said, is there just in case, but we need to be sure about follow through volume and trail stops if necessary, especially if you add size, because now downside or losses are going to really bite into our wallets. So control the controllables, which is positive R multiple and positive risk management. So guys, that is the gist, right? That is all the trades today. We did excellent. We ended up adding to the old piggy bank. We'll jump over to Top Step and tell you what it is right now. Guys, we are $180 off from passing this bad boy and being 100K funded on Top Step. A long time coming, but I'm not going to force anything. Today is a new day, and that's why it says that there's been no money obviously made on the new day. However, it was an additional $1,000, a little over $1,000. So now we are, again, the balance. So I only have hundreds, granted. So we are at 1,800 right here. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm sorry, 2,800. My bad. 2,800 on this. And so I'm ready to put 2 more crispy ones in the piggy bank tomorrow. So it's like, I don't need to force anything. This is great. Like, this is what helps me make it real. It's like, come on, Jay. You made 536 on your first trade today. Do this, pay your fee, and then get ready to turn these, motion picture productions into the real deal, and so this is great. Like, I'll keep this right by my keyboard and go get you, 2 of these. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, guys, I don't want to bore you. I wanted to make sure that we broke that down. I wanted to make sure you guys knew where my head was at. I wanted to already have it down, notes in, because otherwise it's a bit scrambled and I'm trying to show you and to move the camera and whatnot. I want to have all the notes in there. And so, something that I can learn from myself on, just moving forward is I need to have this stuff logged pretty much immediately after, because it's the freshest on my mind and I remember what I was thinking. Maybe even while I'm placing the trades, what I'm thinking during the trade, I just am inputting that on TradeZella instead of putting that in, I guess in theory I would be putting that in afterwards because I'm making the notes in real time and I can't really put it in a trade that I can't export because the trade hasn't happened yet. So I digress. The point is I'm just going to be doing it sooner. I'm waiting into the night sometimes. You're pretty sure about what you do. You take vivid notes, but you're like, was that what I was thinking? You just second guess yourself. This is about accuracy. This is about learning from your mistakes. This is about getting better. I'm looking at this right now and it's great. I'm going to go to the home menu really quickly and the dashboard, and we're up We've taken 72 trades or something like that. You really can't. Let me take it off because I have it on one day. Yeah, I mean we're up. We're 62.5%. Win ratio. 45 wins, 27 losses. I mean, listen, you can make money that way. The profit factor, obviously, which TradeZilla has a lot of great tools, but shows you that anything over a 1 is profitable. 1.39, and I can make that higher. And I need to make that higher, but the win rate is hitting. I need to make sure that my average losses are probably a little bit smaller because my average win to loss trade is 0.84, so it's like almost a 1-to-1. It's not quite, and that needs to be, but my win rate is taking care of me. But at the end of the day, again, I am the one who can control how much I'm putting risk on, how much risk I'm taking off, when I exit, when I enter. So I need to be sure and have real rhyme or reasons as to why I'm entering and why I'm exiting. And if it's good enough for me, then I can come to the drawing board, win, loss, or draw. There's no draw. Win or loss, and go, I know why I did that. And okay, this is what I have to learn from. And not just go, oh shoot, well, I think there's no more speculation. It's got to be clean, it's got to be sharp, it's got to be precise, it's got to be trackable in order for me to see progress. So that's what we are focusing on, moving forward. This is what we're on right now. Let's get 2 more of these bad boys, 2 more Benjamins, and let's get, out of town. So I am, or Franklin, excuse me, Benjamins. My thing is I just really am taking, if I have to just kind of look at what I'm doing from a bird's eye view, is like I'm just taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like true accountability. Like I've always said, oh yeah, it's great. I love the fact that I don't have a boss and I enter and it's me and it's me and it's me. And as I keep reading these books, it's like I'm turning the corner of being like, Julian, it is on you. And so guys, I would be lying to you if I told you that you don't sit there and go, man, do I feel like I'm confident in myself. I know that I can do this, but do I ever have these thoughts of like, man, of course, you would not be a human being. You think that I didn't go through that playing, sports? Of course. You wouldn't be a human being if you didn't, but I'm here to tell you that this looks a whole lot better consistency-wise, even if I'm just at the tip of the iceberg of my trading career, which I am. And this might be considered just complete garbage, trash trading. And compared to, what, if we're talking about, on the scale of 1 to 10, as far as experience goes, or years of experience, I might go, wow, I was terrible then, but I'm taking accountability. It's not, I guess I'll just go chuck a 10 contract the next trade. It's like there's rules. There's rules, and when you lose enough, you figure out, all right, I've got to find a way. I can't keep fucking around. I gotta find a way. And I want you to know that, trust me, I catch myself right now saying, listen, you have not arrived. Relax. You still got to make them 200. Don't mess that up. You still got to get to payouts. Now your mind's even more, and I'm sitting and being as comfortable as I can in this pocket because I know that I'm in the zone because I'm tracking everything. And so as long as I continue to do that, as long as I continue to feed my brain with good information, with more, psychology books, how to be a better human being. It's so weird. And I've said that in a couple of videos, but I'm saying it again because the overspill of the great person you become because of trading is better than trading, which is nuts. And so, but I'm not doing this to be a psychologist. Mad respect, you know what I'm saying, for that, career path, etc. But I'm not doing it for that. You know, I've got things to do and things to create and things to give to people, you know, and that is first and foremost about my family and about me and the people that I love dearly. And, you know, I love you guys, but I want you guys to know that this is a more or less inspiring message to be like, you can do this. You know, you can also get, but I'm going to show it to you. And I don't know if we're going to do videos for another 3 years before I can ever show you a payout. I have no idea. But I'm not going to, you know, try to get by on you. I'm not trying to go behind your back. I'm just going to lay it out to you and let you know what's good. Like, fuck, I blew that. And just let you know. Because I would not be the man that I am today if I was not honest with myself during this process. This is by far the hardest thing I've ever done. But I know that it can be very, very rewarding as long as I keep my head down and focus and control the things I can control. And as long as I do that long enough for enough time, I'll look up and have all this capital coming in. You know, all these companies funding, you know, have max allocations on Top Step and etc. And I don't want to go down, lolly jolly lane or whatever and just be like, oh, let's start daydreaming. It's like, it's not about that, but you do have to have a vision. You do have to believe in here that you can do it before you're ever going to see results in the market. You know, and like, that's all I'm going to say about it. I know I sound like, so what real money have you pulled out of the market yet? It's like, hey, listen, I understand. I'm going to always talk to you guys about how I'm feeling now and how I've already made such a massive paradigm shift of when I started. And that took 2 damn years to actually be like TradeZilla every day. Like, okay, boom. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Like making it more of a habit of like, I got to break down my trades. Like that's a non-negotiable. I've got to know what I did. I've got to see it. I've got to see the stats. I've got to export the data from Top Step. Boom. You know, and like it makes sense when you track something and you look at something like I do with my macros. It's like, I don't know why I thought that this would be any different, that I could just like, you know, like flow with this. But when I can actually measure what I'm doing and what I'm doing wrong is when all of a sudden we are less than $200 away from, you know, passing this deal. It just doesn't, it's like, hello, wake up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, if you track, it will show you something. It will show you a footprint. No pun intended. It's like, it will show you what you need to see in order to be like, you got to cut out this bullshit and you got to do more of this. And I've been making good trades lately. And trust me, I've already had the thought cross my head of like, $4 trillion went through the dumps yesterday. Is it just because the markets are rolling? Like you get these thoughts, but you have to stay in the zone. Because all I can do is just control me and control what I'm doing. When I'm clicking the button, when I'm exiting, why? More importantly, why did you just do that? And if you have a good enough reason, a loss is a lesson. It's not a, oh my God, what am I going to do? No. Because you can learn from that. That's the data you need to get better, you know? But it's like, but that loss should never equate, and this is me telling me as well as I share with you, like, this should never equate to one trade, you blew the account, you blew it up. Like, how? And guys, when I tell you I would do that almost every damn day, you know what I'm saying, in the past, like, there's huge progress, there's huge strides. I see it happening in real time, but I'm just trying to be able to cut the camera on, not do so much editing, sit here and, break down trades for you guys and see so you guys can see the losses as well and what I was thinking in my mind. So then you can go like, she didn't look perfect, but like, shit, he did it. I put in my journal earlier today, I was like, who would I be? And we'll finish with this and we'll jump into the word. Who would I be for my kids to be watching this in, 5 years, 10 years from now and go like, Dad, why did you get on the internet and say that you were going to do something and then not finish it? I know it seems so cruel, but that might be the kick in the ass you need. Like, why did you say that, like, this was what you wanted to do, like the NFL? Like, surely if you made it to the NFL, like, you worked really hard for that. Like, what was different? Why did you not push as hard in trading? Like, why did you settle and not go for it? And you're like working behind a desk. And like, I thought you said that you were going to have financial time and location freedom. Like, that shit fires up my soul. Like, that makes me be like, fuck this. Like, this is not good enough. Like 62.5 win rate. Like, and I know that's not like, you can't go to 100. Like, I'm already aware that like you can get pretty dang close, get in the high 70s, but it's like, listen, don't kill yourself over that. It's, again, control the controllables. You actually don't know when you flip a coin 50 times or 100 times, how many times it's going to land on heads and tails, but it always comes to an average of about 50%. If I'm over 50% win rate right now and I'm at the tip of the iceberg of what I'm learning and getting better every day, then this should not decline. You know, and as I build more setups and I'm testing different things, and I'm not going to do that yet, I'm going to keep hitting, you know, base hits and do my thing, but it's like, this is going to get better. More money will be made. Things will be taking place, you know, so it's like, that's what I care about more than anything. I just want you guys to know that, like, hey, it's working. Track your shit. Like, I know you've heard this from all the other gurus and stuff like that, but like, some of you haven't. Some of you haven't. Some of you haven't heard that enough. Some of you have heard the sexy thing of, you know, just take my course and you'll see when you get inside. Like, bro. And guess what? Your gullible ass is gonna do it, because I did too. But that doesn't mean that, like, it's not what it seems when you get in here. It's not, in the sense of it's going to be easy, get rich, you know, quick scheme. It's not that. It's not even close. But it's like, but you can make tons of money. Tons. And so it's like, I still have to bring myself to the fact that, like, the last 2 days I've made $2,041. You know, like, in 2 days. You know what I mean? You make, I've talked to you guys about this before, and then I'll shut up because I'm rambling. You make $500 or $1,000 a day, 5 days a week. Let's just call it 3 days. Let's say you are, whatever that percentage is, you're like 60-some% or 50%, because it's a little over 50. 5 days a week, all right, Monday through Friday, and you win 3 out of the days. But you always, when you win those 3 days, you end up making $1,000, okay? So you make $3,000 a week, right? 3 out of the 5 days. You lost the other 2, but you still net $3,000. Okay. You do that 4 weeks in a row, that's $12,000. Which one of you guys are making $12,000? A month. Trading. Sitting right here in my damn robe. Click. Okay, cool. And pick the trades that you know work for you, track them, get better at them, and that becomes the snowball effect, the compounding of like, wow, this is really working. And you're going to see it as it happens. You're going to be like, holy crap, like, this is working. That is what you have to do. You know? So, listen, I don't know what else to say, but like, trades are going well right now, but I'm not going to doubt myself. I'm not going to doubt myself for 1 second, because I'm putting in the work. I know I am. I'm sitting here, I'm back testing, I'm doing my thing, I'm watching it, I'm taking notes while I trade. Before I enter, this is how I'm feeling. I'm copy pasting this into TradeZella. I'm doing what I need to do. I know it. And I've almost known it all the way along, because whenever I want to get, you know, cut up for the summer or whatever, or I want to track my macros or whatever the case may be, it's like, what do? I track my food. Track your trades. You can't just guess at this and just assume bags of money are going to open from the heavens and just flood into your room and be like, yes, let's go. Like, no, you might get lucky, but you're not learning anything. So guess what? You're going to put more risk on, because you're like, I can't miss. And you're going to put that shit at risk. All the money that you made from the market that you accidentally, you know, fell into, and you've made maybe, you know, 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, you know, for some of this crypto stuff in some cases, and turn around and blow that and then some. And that's just the way it works. You have to learn through your losses. Insane concept. And everybody hates losing. This is why it's like you got to read these books. You got to get hit over the head a couple times in the market to be like, what am I doing? And you're going to ram your head up against that slot machine mentality of like, come on. I'm going to get lucky. To like, the market will keep taking all the money you earn from your job, and it will take it, and it will take it, and it will take it, and it will not think about you. The market doesn't even know you as far as we're concerned. Yours is just this 00456782H5, an account number. And then guess what? It's a zero-sum game. If you can pull money out of the market, congratulations. But can you do that on a consistent basis? And for those who chucked it in meme coins and made money, they did not. It's almost in some cases worse. Unless they really had a plan that if I chuck this in here and it works, I'm throwing this into real estate, or I'm throwing this into the market, or I'm doing this, I'm doing not day trading market, like diversified portfolio, Roth IRA, shit like that. Like, it's like, wow, I just made $10 million. I got to get rid of this because I'll blow it. I'm going to keep a couple $100,000 and I'm putting it and making it work for me or whatever. So I digress. I just want to tell you, like, you got to be careful with how you trade if you're trading savagely, because I've done it. I've been there. Don't do it. It doesn't feel good. I catch myself like seeing myself go down 200, 300, 400, and I'm like, I need to cut this. You know what I'm saying? Like it used to be when I was like, I'm down 2,500. It is what it is. It'll come back. And it's like, did that give you the result you're looking for, Julian? Did it? No. So quit thinking that you're invincible and just do what you're supposed to do and control your downside. I don't need to be in this trade. 2,000, negative 3,000, negative 3,500, negative 4,000, negative. You gonna just keep letting this go? Or do you want to like take a step back maybe and just be like, I'm in the wrong fucking trade right now. I'm wrong. I don't know. A thought. Okay, here we go. Let's jump into this. We are on Pray with Simplicity. Okay? And when you come before God, don't turn that into a theatrical production either. All these people making a regular show out of their prayers, hoping for stardom. Do you think God sits in a box seat? Here's what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place. You won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there as simply and honest as you can manage. The focus will shift from you to God, and you will begin to sense His grace. The world is full of so-called prayer warriors who are prayer ignorant. They're full of formulas and programs and advice, peddling techniques for getting what you want from God. Don't fall for that nonsense. This is your Father you are dealing with, and He knows better than you do with what you need. With a God like this loving you, you can pray very simply like this. Our Father in heaven, reveal who you are, set the world right, do what's best, as above, so below. Keep us alive with 3 square meals. Keep us forgiving with you and forgiving others. Keep us safe from ourselves and the devil. You're in charge. You can do anything you want. You're blazed in beauty. Yes, yes, yes. In prayer, there's a connection between what God does and what you do. You can't get forgiveness from God, for instance, without also forgiving others. If you refuse to do your part, you cut yourself off from God's part. When you practice some appetite-denying discipline to I had that page folded. To better concentrate on God, don't make a production out of it. It might turn you into a small-time celebrity, but it won't make you a saint. If you go into training inwardly, act normal outwardly. Shampoo and comb your hair, brush your teeth, wash your face. God doesn't require attention-getting devices. We won't overlook what you are doing. He'll reward you well. Say it with me if you know it. You are uniquely different. God took His time on you. You are one of one. If you know each other today, I love you so much. Peace.